Boom, dun, 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 dun. Bow, dun, 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 dun.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to What's Happening. What's happening, Marcos? What's going on?
Coronavirus,
Coronavirus.
revolution,
Revolution. Revelations. Revolution.
and PlayStation 5. What else?
Revolutions. We got a lot to talk about. Let me pull up our little, detail list, if you will. What's the word? What's it called when you have a list of things?
Itinerary.
It's my itinerary right here. What the heck? There we go. Cool. So first, what's going on with you? Anything interesting happening with you this week? Personally, any personal stories? Any personal things going on?
Yes
that you can
and
share?
no. No, I can't share it. That's the part.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey, life still goes
stuff.
on.
Personal life has just happened this week, and try having conversations, but we're going through a lot right now in our country, and a lot of people are waking up, and a lot of people are just pulling over a new cover.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's not good. Wow. This thing is not opening for me for some reason.
Password
protected. Does not want to open. Well, no, it's a Google Doc. And Sophie put it together for us.
Whoa!
I know, she's my little researcher.
Nice. Looks like she saved it incorrectly.
Yeah. Well, no, I just. That's fine. That's fine. Cool. I got it. So, and then I've got my little list here, too. So first, for me, going on with my personal life, nothing. This Father's Day happening, and family was like, "Oh, how do we celebrate?" I'm like, "Don't stay away," but they're coming through anyways. It'll be all right. It's family.
You don't have anything special planned?
Oh, I had a nice lunch today. We're gonna eat some cake tonight. We bought some teppanyaki box. They do all the teppanyaki, and then they box it up and bring it to you. Done. Amazing.
I forgot about that to-go teppanyaki.
Yeah. You just want to believe that he did the volcano. Yeah, he did it. He can taste it.
I thought the delivery driver would do that.
These onions used to be in a volcano. I can taste it. Okay, so first thing that I saw it wasn't the first thing that I saw this week, but Aunt Jemima. I don't know if you heard about with all this, Black Lives Matter and awareness. They're gonna change Aunt Jemima, the name from Aunt Jemima. I guess maybe the name and the picture. It's funny because I used to get Bisquick to make my pancakes. But then it was kind of for me, they're too thick. They're too cakey. And I wanted, like buttermilk pancakes are more like spongy, foamy. So when I tried different stuff, I don't like the Kodiak cakes one. That's it's too thick. And then it's too chewy. But then I finally tried the Aunt Jemima ones, and I like them. I like them a lot. These ones, if I can share my screen. These ones, I like these ones, right here.
Oh yeah.
And I was buying it. I was like, oh, I'm supporting a Black-owned business. I thought this whole time.
They were
Nope.
tricking us all.
They done tricked my ass. I got tricked hella hard.
Yeah.
Uh, Uncle Ben's too, right? Uncle Ben's, Aunt Jemima, and Uncle Ben. I didn't
Wow.
know that.
Wow.
I
They're
didn't
gonna
know
pull
that.
Uncle Ben's.
Yeah, and Uncle Ben's.
Haven't enough Uncle Ben's died?
I thought it was a black-owned business, and I was like, cool, but no, this is expensive.
They're straight
So
up.
good. I don't know what they'll change it to. I don't know if it'll make me stop buying it
It's gonna be
because it was like,
Tia Maria's.
all right. There's like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's a thing already. So I don't know. That's weird. What do you think about that? What are your
Well,
thoughts on
it's funny because I currently work in a grocery store and we
that?
have those. And, I brought it up to my management like, hey, we're supposed to be taking this, they're going to be changing the name and everything. And I was like, we should pull it all and, either donate it, trash it, whatever we got to do. And they're like, no, we got to wait for direction before we can do it. And
Yeah, I
in
mean
my
that's hard
head,
to. I
but in
mean,
my head,
it's
I'm like, if there was like Hitler O's and like World War II ended, and the next day we were like, hey, guess what? They're not allowing any of that stuff to happen. We should pull this stuff off the shelf immediately. You know?
I mean, your manager could make that decision, yeah. But then at the
Uh,
same time, you're like, you've been selling it this whole time. There's been no problem. Either just sell it all and then not buy anymore until they change it, or because you don't want to just get rid of stock like that. That's hard to do.
we're talking about a multi-billion, trillion-dollar corporation
Yeah,
that
but
can't
you're
get
still
rid
watching
of
every penny. That's why you're a
zero.
multi-billionaire company, So
If you know grocery stores, you would know that they throw away more than 50% of that shit that comes in the door.
that's hella sad. I was thinking about that the other
That's
day.
the
I was like,
truth.
what if
That's
nobody wants strawberries?
No,
What do you do?
I'm telling you, I've purged so much food in my life working in
See,
retail
there should be a
grocery
law where
stores.
that's got to go to like you have to donate it to like food banks or then your local like soup kitchen,
That's
and
Canada.
then like it should be a
Canada,
law.
I believe it's Canada, maybe England as well. It's a law that grocery stores are not allowed to throw out food. They must donate it to, their charities.
We
I
should make
believe
that a thing. We should bring that here. Is that not a thing? We should start it.
the problem is, I believe the way our system is set up, these our companies, if they do decide to donate or purge anything, they can get a reimbursement kickback if they decide to do that. But they can't get as much of their money back if they like, give it to employees or stuff like that. It must be donated to a bank so it can be reflected for tax purposes. And that's where I believe a lot of companies are going to get into this, where it's
We'll
like,
fix the tax code. Is what
oh
we need to
yeah,
do.
it's easy. I believe there is an easy solution, but I believe the
Because
easier
that's all you have
solution.
to do. You have to make something financially, uh, like, make financial sense for Sony. Make them see it as oh, we got to do this to save money, or we should do this and we'll make more money. It has to make financial
Yep.
sense, and then they'll do it. You know what I'm saying? If they was like, oh, by the way, your taxes, your tax rate, whatever your tax rate is, your business tax rate, it goes to zero if you use all electric cars.
Hey,
It's like if you use, fossil fuel powered, gasoline powered, diesel, whatever cars at any level, like your whatever your fleet, your trucking, whatever.
yep.
Well, then you get your regular tax rate. But if you manage to do none and do only electric vehicles, you're off the hook.
I would love that.
You know?
You see how quick everybody would
Imagine that.
turn against each other. We're talking about getting rid of like General Motors, like all these other big
Oh yeah, they're like you'll
corporations
be
that have
killing
like,
the industry. Well, start making electric cars and you won't have a problem.
adapt,
Adapt or
adapt.
die. This is America. Adapt or die.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is, I'm throwing it out there. Okay.
Okay, throw it.
I believe that
I'll catch it.
we should pay less if you're able to efficiently get into a store and get out, or any other service. For instance,
Ooh.
gasoline. I went to the gas station. I went to Costco. There's 3 pumps, and they even have indicators at the top, so you know if somebody's left, you can get in. I
Nice.
was There was 3 people ahead of me, and I'm telling you, the first car never moved, and the other 2, I have somebody getting out the car. Oh, I forgot my wallet. Let me walk back. Oh, I forgot. Am I doing unleaded or premium? Oh, I forgot. I need to go check on my kid in the front seat. Oh, you know what? Let me see if I really did hit that rock earlier. Let me look at the front of my car. I got out of my car and there was a gentleman behind me like this. Time me. Didn't have to say anything. I said, time me. I went, yeah, did my gas, filled it up. I'm telling you, I only had like 20 miles left in my car. Filled it all the way up,
Running on
finished
fumes.
before the other 2 people in front of me
Yo,
who were
straight up.
already there.
That's me too. Straight up.
I'm
I'm
just
like,
I
watch
don't get it.
me. This is how you do it. Here we go.
It's
Ready? And I'm
efficiency.
done. Look how much time that took me. What's the matter with
Bam.
you people? I don't
That's
know.
why
There should
that's
be
why
an
everybody,
efficiency discount, huh?
yeah,
Efficiency
just like
discount.
self-service. If you go through a self-service counter, I believe they should give you a discount because you're not having a cashier having to ring you up. And
Well,
that's where I
they would
find,
say that the discount's already in the prices of the food you're buying.
well, if that's the truth, then make it reflect it. But
Yeah.
right now, it's not, because I'm paying just as much as the guy that's waiting in line to get
Oh,
checked out.
yo, and I go through the self checkout. You think I was running? You think I worked at a supermarket for real? Because I'm like,
Yep.
beep, 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 and I'm bagging it, beep, and I've never worked at a supermarket. I just am not an idiot, so I know how to beep things. That's my only skill that I have over the next guy is I'm not a moron. So I can look
Yep.
for the. They got 2 scanners now, one on the top and bottom. They make it so easy.
Some have the gun, so you can just take the gun and do the heavy stuff.
Oh my
Have you
God!
been in a Costco line?
I
When
haven't
I
been in a
go to
Costco
Costco,
in a minute. I go to Vons and I go to Target. I go to the occasional Walmart, begrudgingly, and that's about it.
so
I went to
every
Food
one of
Max.
those, you have to put products onto the conveyor belt.
Hmm.
Costco, you don't. So they scan everything in your basket. When I shop, I purposely put all the barcodes facing up.
That's next level.
But
All
I
the
know, but I'm
barcodes
like,
already facing it. Bang.
it takes me 2 minutes to check out at Costco. 2 minutes. 2 minutes max.
That even sounds like a long
If
time.
if there's any reason I if there's any reason it's going longer than 2 minutes, it's for, as you like to say, user error. And it's
There
typically
you
the
go.
cashier who doesn't know what the heck they're doing. Oh, I forgot to charge lady in front of you really quick. Let me bring her back up really quick. Oh, this guy was also, I needed to break some change for him. Oh, also, we're changing cashiers right now. So let them count out the drawer. Well, I'm just like, dude, I was ready to
Yeah.
go. Like, you're punishing me.
Yep.
My car is much more valuable than this
Bring
guy
back
who's,
the express lane. New age. Rethink express lane. Rethink it. It's no longer 15 items less. It's 15 seconds or less. Or something. You know what I'm saying? I like it. I like it. We need to have a boomer lane. Lane for boomers who are going to be slow and talking about the weather and writing a check. You need to
text
go into
only.
this lane. If you're going to bring out a checkbook for right now, you got to go over here. If you're
Gosh.
gonna contactless scan your digital, the little chip in your card, you go over here. And you're a millennial, and you're about to, you got to do. You go to these lines.
That's the
Bring back the
truth.
express lane. I like it. I like it. Here on my list. Next up, I got. Next up, we got. A lot of people have been talking about. Oh, we talked a lot about voting for Joe Biden. We didn't talk that much about it. It's just a foregone conclusion. But anyways, we're gonna begrudgingly vote for Joe Biden. But did you hear that Amy Klobuchar, who she ran, she was in the top 5 or so.
She was on SNL at one point.
She was played by Rachel Dratch, which is hilarious. She recently came out and people said that she's in the running for vice president. Well, she rescinded her name from consideration, saying that it should be a female. It's a foregone conclusion that it should be a female. I think most people across the board are like, pick a woman or you're going to screw this up. Now Amy says it's clear that it should not only be a woman but also a person of color. So she's like, that ain't me, so I'm out. And we gotta say, hey, you know what? Props to Amy. I didn't agree with her on everything, but she's a real one. If she gets it like that, hey, you know what? Props to you, Amy Klobuchar.
But also, you gotta imagine like George Washington's coming up to you like, "Hey, I'm gonna go look for a new land on this little rinky-dink boat. Do you want to go with me?" You're probably like, "Nah, you know what? That's political suicide. Let me wait until another 4 years. Let me run for something else. Get my name out there."
Yeah.
I think that could be another reason why.
So, like Kamala Harris, people are thinking Kamala Harris. People are thinking Stacey Abrams. She ran for governor of, I believe, Georgia. She didn't win, but there was a lot of shystiness going on in that election, and she's been a very vocal, leader for the Democrats. What else we got coming up? Speaking of which, Juneteenth was yesterday. Juneteenth. The conversation has evolved into should we turn Juneteenth into a holiday, a federal holiday? And I'm like, hell yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Like,
I think that we should just
Martin Luther King Jr. Day is one. We should get rid of Columbus completely and replace it with that. Yeah, I think it's really an idea. You know what's funny? What brings me back? I used to work at a sports team, and we would have. I remember coming. You worked in entertainment and the event planning, and on our calendar there'd always be blocked off Juneteenth celebration. And when I first started working there, that's the first time I ever had heard of it, and I was like, "Yo, what the hell is Juneteenth?" Because it doesn't really mean any. The word doesn't say. If it was African American, Black Independence Day, or the end of Slavery Day, then I would be like, oh, that must be the day that slavery ended. But it's called Juneteenth, which just sounds like we ran out of numbers. So it's like, okay, what is that? And nobody really had a great answer. They would say, oh, it's like it's a black thing, or it's like a Black Pride Day. Is what they would say. It was what the answers I would get. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of like this group, they come in, it's like there's all these guys and we do a couple slides and there's maybe a PA read or two.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, but what is it? I never knew. I never found out. I never really got like and I could have done my own research, but we were busy with like 1,000 other things. And most of the events, because once they came to my desk, that means they already had a concept and a why and a who and a what and a where. And I just had to execute or plan things around it. So the research part really should have been done before it got to me. So like it's Star Wars Day and these people are doing this and that. I'm like, okay, great. But now I get to find out where and when and with who and with what. Or insert anything. It's whatever. It's autism awareness. We got these guys coming out. We do this, and that. I'm like, okay, great. And now that you have all those things, I'll plan it out. But for Juneteenth, it was like, I need a first pitch and read these things. or we'll email you the stuff to read. So I wouldn't get it until the day of or a day before, and I'm just throwing it on the script, and then I just give it to the PA guy, and he's like, okay, thank you for coming. It's Juneteenth. And like, I didn't know about it until he's like mid-sentence. You'd be surprised how many times I got, here's a PA read 5 minutes before it needs to be read. And so the PA guy, understandably, was like, I need this ahead of time, but I would be the guy who had to be like, it's not even my choice. This guy's telling me I had to give it to you. Read it. That's the end of the story. Okay, I hope there's no curse words in it, you know? So that's surprising that it took till now for me to really know. Again, this show is about how the two of us, as woke as we possibly can be, as, you know, hardworking, full-time working, busy guys who also try and not be ignorant to the best of our ability. If we don't understand what it is, then you can bet your behind that 9 out of 10 people out there don't know it at all. Okay? We're actually trying to know it. And I didn't know it. So nobody knows what the hell Juneteenth is. I can say that. Not a damn soul knows what that is. So it's good that we're finally talking about it more. Now that my ass knows, my ignorant self, I know better. Now I can tell other people. But I can guarantee you 9 out of 10 people have never heard of it ever in their life. So make it a holiday, and then everyone will have heard of it.
Absolutely.
They didn't know what Cesar Chavez was. They don't know who the hell Cesar Chavez is. You go to Idaho, ask them, do you know who Cesar Chavez is? And they'll be like, what is he, a soccer player? They would have no idea. Idaho, they don't know what Cesar Chavez is. I guarantee you.
Yep. Do you know who Cesar Chavez is?
He was a labor rights activist who was a laborer and then fought for their rights. People don't know that. People in Montana, they've never heard of Cesar Chavez.
Yeah, he got the longer pole, if you remember. They used to hoe with these tiny little hoes, and he got them all to organize to get the longer hose. But that's where it started. And then he was like, hey, if we can get that, what else can we get?
Look at that. You taught me more. And we live here, and I'm in Fresno, the breadbasket of the world, the farming capital of the world. And you just taught me something. They didn't teach either of these in school.
I had to learn about this on the internet.
School, looking at you, school.
Do better, school. Educate yourself.
Didn't do either of these.
That's because we got.
And we're in Fresno.
Yeah, like we
in
do,
LA, we're in California.
Like imagine we do like a whole Valentine's Day thing. We do the whole St. Patrick's
all that
Day
week we spent chasing the stupid leprechaun footprints across our classroom. We could have spent talking about Cesar Chavez, Juneteenth, and the Tulsa Massacre. Okay, but no.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. I clicked on a link for Juneteenth, and I'm telling you, some of those images I saw. Like, I'm scarred. I'm literally scarred to my soul, to my heart.
Supposed to be.
And absolutely. I feel like everybody needs to see these pictures so they can realize what we've done before. And if you think we're not capable of it, we've done it not that long ago. It may not have been here.
As much as we like to hold ourselves on a pedestal as, like, you know, we're the ones who defeated Nazism and whatnot, we need to take a chapter out of the book from what the Germans have done to remember and never forget and move past that dark time in their history. We need to do the same. And they did that a lot quicker. We're about 150 years behind.
Of course, they were forced to, but I'm like, why can't we force us to do it?
Well, somebody ought to force our ass.
NATO. Disband that shit.
Wait, what? Disband NATO?
Yeah, well, absolutely. If they're not going to come to our aid.
They are going to come for our aid. We're not going to come to theirs. Thank you, Donald Trump.
Well,
plus, that's a trade organization, so that has nothing to do with. That's the North Atlantic Trade Organization. That's all about trade. Next up, we've got this was movie news. Movie news. There wasn't a whole lot of movie news. There was the trailer for the. We talked about the Snyder Cut. They did play a small trailer teaser for the Snyder Cut on HBO Max. Did you see it?
No, I did not.
A little more closer. It wasn't anything the people who have been in it haven't seen, but we do know that part of the scene that was shown was not in the movie that we got. It's Princess Diana, Wonder Woman, in a cave looking at paintings of Darkseid. And that was not in the movie. There's no mention of Darkseid really, or any visuals about him in Justice League. So just to come out the gate with that was like pretty exciting. Kristen Stewart, you'll remember her from Charlie's Angels and Twilight and other stuff. She's recently been cast. She was in what?
She was in Charlie's Angels.
The newer one.
Oh, that new one?
Yeah.
I
didn't see it. I saw the Drew Barrymore, Cameron Diaz, Lucy Liu one.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what, if they would have put Heather Graham in it, I would watch the new one. I bet she predicted it, right?
I love Heather Graham.
Absolutely.
Who doesn't like Heather Graham? Heather Graham's great. She's funny. She's hot. She's super talented. She can do it all.
Yeah.
Kristen Stewart was cast in order to play Princess Diana in a new biopic. Princess Diana. This was probably one of the more memorable or like life occurrences, like world-shaking occurrences that happened in our youth before 9/11. There was the death. Like that was the big. Like we didn't witness Reagan being shot or any of that. We didn't witness it, but we remember our parents being shocked watching the news, hearing about the death of Princess Diana. So
Diana, OJ.
Diana, OJ, 9/11, Columbine.
Oh,
those were our formative years events, right? Would you say? All of those are 90s, early 2000s. That's us, the millennials. We grew up with that.
Question: do they teach your daughter or do they train active shooting demonstrations with your daughter in school?
They did do it wasn't so much an active shooter as it was like emergency, kind of like a code silver drill. They call it code silver sometimes. Meaning someone threatening with a weapon on premises. So that could be a sword, an axe, a knife, a gun, any of those things are considered.
I've only heard
code silver
from cougars, but usually it's for something else.
That's something else. So they did do the danger on campus, need to leave campus drill. But we talk about it a lot. Not a lot, but like enough. I'm like, yo, I had a horrible dream, you'll find out when you enter, when you become a father, you just have nightmares for no reason. But I had a terrible dream that like I'm at work. There's a shooting at the school. I just leave work. I drive all the way there. And then I see Sophie like just running aimlessly through a nearby neighborhood. And I just like drive up on her and I'm like, get in the car. And it's just like that. And the premise of the dream was that like there's someone on campus and then the class starts to leave and then they get dispersed somehow. And Sophie just books it, which I would hope would be what happens. I told her, I was like, if at any point you're like, I'm gonna die if I stay with these people, you book it, leave, run. Okay, what I was taught was run, hide, fight. You run until you cannot run anymore, right? You run.
Yep.
Is it open streets? Even better, run. Run, 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 run.
Zigzag.
Right? If you can't run anymore, like they've trapped you in a room and all the exits are behind them, well, then you hide. Right? Then once you've hidden and now they found you, well, now you fight. And you fight dirty. I'm throwing everything. I'm throwing computer monitors. I'm throwing shoes, dog. Until you have to rush them or whatever you gotta do.
It's funny because that's everybody else's mentality, except for like cops. They're like, forget the run, hide,
No,
just fight
first. Fight first, and if they're beating you, then hide. That's cops. And then and then run was run towards the other police officers who are already beating someone. Run towards the donut shop. Terrible.
Well, we were talking about movies though, and I don't know if you were planning on bringing this up, but they announced Jamie Foxx is going to be playing Mike Tyson.
What?
Yes.
That's almost perfect. That's perfect. Oh
and
my God.
There's photos online, and he's not even at the size he's supposed to be at, but he's saying like, oh, I'm gonna get up to 220 for the beginning of filming, and then they're gonna balloon him
to like 260 or something, 250.
250.
Man, I just saw him in Just Mercy. That was our movie this week.
Mercy. I need to watch it. Don't ruin it.
Oh my God. I did not know that they would go into some of the storylines they went into as deep as they went into them. And Sophie might have been the hardest Sophie's cried in a movie since like watching Up as like a 3-year-old or something. Sophie's 11 now. So that was like, we cried a lot during that one. That one was really good. It wasn't as like blockbustery as some of the other ones. It's much smaller production, but it's still really good. And Michael B. Jordan is really good in it. Michael B. Jordan is really good in it. Jamie Foxx is really good in it. Brie Larson's great. And some of the supporting actors that I'm not too familiar with, really good. Probably some of the best performances are from the supporting cast.
Wow.
And they're really good. So that was... that one was painful to watch, but in a good way. Does that make sense? So seeing him in that, because he played quite a character, farther from himself, Jamie Foxx. So seeing him in that, I was like, yeah, add a gap and, obviously shave his head. But like they did some body things. I'm not sure if he had some prosthetics or what he was doing, or if he had just gained some weight for the role. But yeah, I can see. I don't know why, but I could see him playing. Because the last time I remember him, he's always so good looking and so young and fresh. Jamie Foxx is. So seeing him in that movie, I was like, oh yeah, he could. That's crazy. That could be cool. He's also supposed to be playing Spawn in the new Spawn movie. They're trying to make Spawn again.
Get the front out of here.
Jamie Foxx has been cast as Spawn, to be written and directed by Todd McFarlane himself, the creator of Spawn.
Dog, I just found a box full of my old toys, and they're all full of Spawn characters.
Dude, were you a big Spawn guy?
Well, yeah, because we got into it through my Nino. He was like all into toys and stuff. And I remember we would get them and we would hang them from our ceiling with like fishing wires so it looked like they were posing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we were.
I mean, look at this. I mean, Blumhouse. They're the people behind a lot of the really good, kind of more scary movies that have been coming out.
And you know what the problem is? I love the other Spawn movie.
I watched it several times. I love John Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo as that fucking clown is probably the scariest shit that used to frighten my nightmares.
That was so scary.
I'm telling you. But yeah, I mean, they could redo it. I mean, for the CGI back then, it was like breathtaking.
Yo, this
Can't
I
imagine
remember
what
the
they could do
cape.
now.
Remember him descending wearing that cape, and it was just like what? Yeah. So Blumhouse moving along with Todd McFarlane himself to reboot Spawn with Oscar winner Jamie Foxx.
Wow.
With Blumhouse,
Wow.
not Bloomhouse. I don't know if
I
it's
want to know.
Blumhouse or Bloomhouse. Jason Blum, Jason Bloom. They made
Probably.
Paranormal Activity. Their
Oh.
big Paranormal Activity probably put them on the map along with Insidious,
So all their
the
frightening
the
movies.
Purge. They did a Split, Get Out, Happy
Yeah,
Death
they're good.
Day.
They're
They did
good.
the new Halloween. They did the new Invisible Man, which I heard was really good, which I really want to watch. We should do
I
a watch
haven't
party.
seen it.
Can we do a watch party with Invisible Man?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah. Look forward to that. Look for that on Blimprov. We're gonna do a watch party, Invisible Man watch along. Uh, that'll be a
Black
lot of fun.
Klansman too.
They did Black Klansman, which is on my list. I still haven't
Dude,
seen it.
that one's phenomenal.
I can't wait.
Phenomenal
What did I
movie.
watch instead? Thinking it was this. Thank you for calling, or the
Half
other
Baked.
one. No, where they're at a call center.
Oh,
Where the guy puts on his white voice.
yes, I know which one you're talking about. I, and that one's similar to it.
It's a little similar.
They do in the movie as well.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah. So those are exciting projects. I can't wait for. There's also the Candyman remake. Candyman.
What?
Candyman. Candyman. What? Here's. Sorry, we're almost. We're out of my list, and now we're gonna go to Sophie's list. She's got some questions here. She says, here's an article. People are talking about they blocked the I-5 with the protests at some point to block the I-5 interstate bridge from downtown Vancouver. Okay, so clearly it was very far from here. And so that's kind of been, I mean, last they tried to discount the riots, or excuse me, they called them riots. They tried to discount these protests by focusing on the riot aspects. Then they tried, first they tried to discount the protests because it's disrespecting the flag. Then they wanted to discount the protests because, well, you're being rowdy. And the newest thing is they want to discount the protests because, well, you're blocking the streets and, people got to work. So Sophie's question is, how does the fact that protesters are blocking the road affect the way you feel about the Black Lives Matter movement? Well, for me, that's the point. It's supposed to be inconvenient to life to have an inconvenient conversation. That's the point. That you don't protest in your own house. You don't protest in your own backyard. You don't demand justice from your own best friends. You demand justice from others. You demand action from your neighbors. You protest in public, in the streets. You ask them to honk. You sit in your city council member's office. You block them from getting to work. You demand focus. So that's the point. So yeah, so people are complaining about, oh, you block the streets. Too bad. Walk.
Have you been in LA? They block the streets every fucking day for construction. So don't tell me that somebody fucking getting in the middle of the street is no different. We always remember when the guy shut down all the I-5 because he pretended to jump. So you're gonna tell me that protesters?
They blocked the. What's the? I haven't been in LA in a while, so I'm out of my LA speak. They blocked the 10. They blocked the 10 for like Deadpool.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, who cares?
And going back to that, when we kneeled on a flag and we protested peacefully, nobody said a word. They still wouldn't listen to us.
Yeah.
Then we went out, we said more, we protested walking, and they got upset about that. And, until we actually do something, like, we're never going to get their attention. So finally, we're at this point where it's like, well, why are you guys doing that? It's like, well, you wouldn't listen to us when we tried telling you the other 3 times that our people are getting killed in the street. There's systematic injustice going on, and that basically we're being held captive by our political system, which is run by a bunch of Republicans who refuse to give up power. How's it the president has an 8-year term max, but some of these senators have been in longer than I've been alive?
That's the scary part, you know. When you, well, it's exactly it. If life can go on, if you can never mind it, if you're not worried about getting reelected because you've been there for 30 years and you're gonna be there for another 30 years, then what's at stake? There has to be something at stake.
Yep.
Your regular workday is at stake. So be it. Your normal commute is at stake. So be it. Do we think it's good or bad for the Black Lives Movement? I think it's good. Good. It's supposed to be disruptive. That's the point.
Well, apparently, Black Lives Movement is nothing but bad. So it's different. Even if it's bad, it's already bad in the eyes of the media and our government and our president. So what's the difference if we do something bad? They're already saying that we're evil criminals, then we need to be
they're already,
shot
just for
before.
kneeling during the national anthem, we're already bastards. So
Yeah.
that's
So I'm
just gonna
like,
do
we're at this point
what they're
already.
gonna
We
do.
we tried telling you guys. One person tried telling you peacefully, doing nothing but kneeling, not saying F this, F that, forget America. He wasn't saying any of that stuff. He just came out and said, hey, we're not treated the same way all y'all are. In fact, here goes a person that was killed not that long ago who was arrested by the police and arrived dead. How does that happen?
Oh, that
And they're
happens all the
like,
time.
oh yeah, we trust these people. We give them so much power and trust. Like, imagine, ambulance coming to help out your daughter because she has like a cut on her arm, and then you come to the hospital and they're like, oh, she died. Like, well, what happened? I gave her to you
Suicide.
with the cut on her arm.
It was a suicide. She killed herself.
Yeah, or it's like,
Let's
oh, my
just
safety
lie.
was in jeopardy. Wasn't she in handcuffs? Wasn't she in handcuffs?
Yeah, but I feared for my life. She reached for my weapon.
That's what I
Nonsense.
mean. Some people are so afraid. They're afraid of people with their hands, literally with metal, stopping them from moving their hands forward, and they're so afraid.
Speaking of being afraid, we haven't got. I guess this will be part of the news section. What went viral was this woman cop, female cop. That's all I have to put.
I've seen
Female
it.
cop McDonald's. Oh no, there's 1,000 different things. McMuffin.
Is
I
it the
think it was.
one where she was
Yeah, she was afraid.
reprimanding one of her officers?
No, this is different. This was this woman. You watch the video. She describes going to McDonald's. I think she also says that she placed her order online. You know how you can place it for pickup when you get there. She says I believe she says she does that. She orders it online. She goes to the drive-through. She says, "Hi, I ordered my meal online." They'll say, "Okay, pull up to the next window." Then they tell her it's not ready yet and to pull into one of the stalls, which normally that's how it works. It does not ready right when you get there when you order it on the app. You've got to say you're there, and then they start making it. So I get it. So then, but she's like freaking out already at this point. Then she says a girl comes out and only gives her the coffee as part of her McMuffin meal. And then she says she's so freaked out at this point that not to bring her the rest of her meal and that she doesn't know what's going on and she doesn't know why everyone's so afraid of the police and that she's scared and she's just freaking out. So
Is
she's
she
like
is she
essentially
half
accusing
black or
them of like
something?
tampering with her meal because she's a cop. And I'm like, first of all, this shit takes time sometimes. That's just the way it is. Second of all, if you're that freaked out, this person has a weapon. This person who can't keep their shit together for 5 minutes while she gets her McMuffin is having a panic attack and she has a weapon. Take this woman's weapon immediately. She
Yep.
clearly does not have the cognitive capacity or the emotional stability to deal. She
But
literally can't even.
honestly, I feel this is 80% of our police force. If maybe less, maybe more, but I feel like that's 80% of it right there is I'm afraid that these people are going to hurt me, even though I'm the one with a badge and a gun. I can do whatever I want to you guys, and most likely nothing will happen to me.
But the minute
Unless
I feel slightly threatened, I better kill them all. I better
yep,
fire 23 bullets.
and this gives me the right to do it. And even if I get fired, I'll probably get like a severance package, and I'll start a new life, find a new profession that isn't as dangerous anymore.
I don't know. I mean, they're calling her Officer Karen. I mean, I get being nervous. I get it. I get being paranoid. I get it. But like, I don't know. This bad idea of probably tweeting it because you're gonna get nothing but people making fun of you. So he kind of asked for it. Second of all, yeah, no, I've never cried about anything like this ever before in my life. So I don't know, dude. Maybe take the day off if you're like having trouble. So that was what was going on in the news. Thoughts?
I have not seen that one, but
Check that out. McMuffin. They call him Cop McMuffin, Officer McMuffin.
but honestly, it's a little telling of like what our about like our police force. A lot of people are afraid, and when they're afraid, they could either educate themselves as to why they're afraid, or they can shoot. And I literally think that's like either the two spectrums, and either they choose one side or they're choosing the other side.
Yeah, because they're not like talking about it and getting therapy
Or
or training. That's not
why
happening.
not ask the associate? Why not
Yeah,
ask the
why didn't
associate?
at no
Oh,
point does
excuse
she
me.
go like, "Hey, what's going on? Is there an issue?" She doesn't
Yeah,
say
it's
that.
just
She just
fear.
goes,
It's
"Don't bother
fear.
bringing out the rest of my meal. I'm too nervous. Bye." No, she dips. So it's like, why didn't you be like, "Yeah, what's good? What's the deal? What's going on? I ordered this 10 minutes ago." Like I've done that. You haven't been like, "This should be ready by now. This is like a really long wait." And
I do that all the time.
I don't know if you wanted to throw in an extra McMuffin in there because this is taking a while. Yeah, that's what you do. Yeah, like
Yeah.
have you? I
Look,
bought Carl's Jr. And they're like, oh, "Can you pull up front?" And I'm there for like, it's been like 10 minutes. Did I have a conniption fit? Did I freak out and pee myself? No, I was like, dang, there goes my half-hour lunch break, and then I got my ass back to work and
but
ate
I
it
will
while at
come
my
to that.
computer. I don't know
I will
what.
I will come to that Karen officer's defense, because I will say she's not a Karen, she's not Stacy, she's not any of them.
You're right. She didn't go,
Their
"Let me talk
first,
to your manager. You need to do this, this, this. You owe me this, this, that." She didn't do that. So she's not a
so we
Karen.
just need a new name
So
for her.
let's not.
That's
You're
not a
right.
Karen.
Let's not diminish the other Karens by including her in a Karen. She's not a Karen.
Different privilege.
She's just
Different privilege.
a fragile Franny. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but like, she got a lot of flack for that. And it's sad. It's not like she was killing an unarmed black man. But it was still a little.
But we should definitely, she should definitely probably choose a different profession, or
Or at least
do
take a
something else
day
where
or
she
two
doesn't
off.
feel. Yeah,
You know,
And
maybe.
and when you do, turn off that TV because it's the media that's making her think otherwise.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody like we gotta kill the police. They've just been saying fuck the police, which is like, hey,
Which,
allow us to have the same rights as a white person you would pull over.
yeah. I
You
mean, no
know,
one. Yeah.
even driving, I was driving
No one is
recently, and I'm just
advocating
like,
violence.
everybody that was,
We just want justice.
yeah,
Nobody is advocating violence. Justice only. No one is advocating
we don't want
messing with their
revenge.
drinks. We don't want
We
them
don't want
messing with their
more.
drinks. We want them to have great service and then thank us like normal people. That's it.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, we used to give away Blimprov tickets if a guy told us he was military or police or fire. We used to say they're free at our shows.
Yeah, I remember we used to give away free tickets if somebody like didn't see the previous show or
Or if
something
they
like
didn't get into our show, that's a whole nother story. If the last show they tried to get in was sold out, they got into that one for free. That's true.
that.
This is true. Let me go back to my other list here. Um, so there's the new guidelines from the governor. Gavin Newsom has now said that, period, everybody gotta be wearing masks when they go out. I was at Walmart the other day, and there were three different type of people. Ready for this? There were three different type of people. Only three. Never more, never less. In every, you could blink your eyes, walk 3 steps, open your eyes, take a snapshot. You could do this, and you would see immediately three different type of people. You've got
Give me
one
them.
person. I'm one of them, and that you're wearing your mask properly. It's over your nose and your mouth, and you've got a mask, and you're wearing it, and it's correct. The next type of person was not wearing a mask. This is just someone just walking around not wearing a mask, right? The third was a unique kind of person. This is a person who has a mask but isn't wearing it correctly. Okay, here's a mask, guys. Here's a surgical mask, right? Okay, this is the cheapy ones. I have to tie it every time. I tie it like a shoelace, right? I do the whole bunny ears in the back because then
Those
I
are
can
nice.
just pull one string and it pops away. But it's a surgical mask. I've got some of these, right? Just get your thing. This is properly, right? Over my nose and my chin.
Whoa.
Okay.
It looks
Next,
difficult.
I know, super hard, right? And you just tie it. Just tie it. It's very easy. We know how to tie our shoes. We can tie this, right? Correct. Right? Then you got second person. Incorrect. No mask. Then you've got this guy. What is this doing? What is this doing?
He couldn't breathe before.
Or
I always
this.
get that. I can't breathe.
Or
I
they're
can't
wearing it
breathe.
like a bib, like a grease catch. I don't know what this is. The chin. I call it the chin strap. He's ready to play football. He's just missing the helmet. The chin strap. I've seen
Oh
this.
my god.
What is this
Oh
doing? Ah, man,
Keep
that
your
chin
helmet
be
on.
clean as hell. That chin ain't got no germs.
Oh my god.
What are you doing with this? Nothing.
Looking cool.
Idiot.
I love the
Those are
people that
every
are
three
like,
people.
and you know, it's funny because the last two people, I know their excuse is either A, it's uncomfortable, and B, I can't breathe in it. And I'm like, you know, literally doctors are in hours of surgery wearing
I
these
wear
masks.
this all day at my desk. All
And
day. I have a
literally,
desk that has a lot of traffic. People come into my office a lot, so I don't really ever take it off.
Mhm.
I'll like relieve one ear loop and just kind of leave it kind of like this so I can quickly put it back on. If I'm just like at my desk or my door is closed and no one's gonna come see me and like I'm on my lunch break or something, I'll just pop it off one ear occasionally. Otherwise, it's on my mask the whole time. I grew up with asthma. I've had asthma attacks. I've had to get a breathalyzer machine as recently as a year and a half ago. I was having shortness of breath. I had to sit there in the hospital for like a half hour. That was like a year ago, right?
Wow.
Where I was just like, I don't know, I smoked too much weed or something, and I was just like, man, it's like, I'm kidding. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. It was kind of like in the summer too, but I was having some wheezing. I was just wheezing all the time. So I had to go in and I wore the mask. The little, and they put that medicine in there, albuterol or whatever, and it gives you the cranked up one. And I'm just sitting there breathing this. Oh, it's the little thing. It's the tube, and and moisture comes out one end, and I'm just like breathing it in the whole time. And I wear this all day. I have never had a single problem. It doesn't bother me at all. And I wear glasses, so that hole fogs up your glasses. You gotta get it on there, right? You gotta go. If it's on you, here and in front of your glasses, yeah, you're gonna fog it up. The moisture's gonna go right there. But if you put your glasses on top of it, more on top of it, while it's against your face, you're not gonna get that. I don't get the fogginess. So I don't know what the hell the problem is. It's people are lazy and they don't want to be inconvenienced. That's it. That's the only. It's not that you can't breathe. Bullshit. You can breathe. Shut up. Stop.
My
Stop it.
problem is it's not those people. It's the people that are supposed to be enforcing the rules that are my bigger
It's also
issue,
true because I'll go into government buildings and the security guard who's telling you to make sure to check in out the lady isn't wearing one.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this? Like, what are you guys trying? Like, what are you trying to? Because I'm wearing a mask, and then you let me inside, and then I get inside, and there's two people without masks on. And I'm like,
literally walked into the Department of Health, the Department of Health building. The security guard was not wearing a mask.
Oh my God, dude! Oh.
So I'm just like,
I don't get what it is.
What am I doing? Why am I wearing so much?
We should tell people it doesn't kill you. It just it either shrivels up your dick and makes it fall off, or it makes you become ugly. Those are the two things we should tell people it does.
You know that
everybody be wearing the mask perfect.
You know those things are horrible for your
and
abs.
The ones that aren't.
I don't know. You know that gives you ED, right? What? Oh, I better put this mask on.
I'm gonna put one on my schlong just to be safe.
I'm gonna put a mask on my partner because, yeah, I don't know. I want to make
there
cards.
Was a comedian.
Yeah, go ahead.
There was a comedian, Yamika something. It's great, phenomenal stand-up. She's black, beautiful person. But she tweeted recently, like, hey, guys, I just had sex with somebody during coronavirus. It was super awkward. And I was like, did you guys wear protection? But I'm like, at what point are you thinking mask or condom?
I don't know. Well, did you say, were you guys wearing PPE?
Yeah.
Personal protective equipment. Well, then even that, it could be a condom. We just need body condoms. Which, speaking of which, I wonder if I can pull it up here. This came out. Here we go. You remember Aaron, our good friend Aaron?
Oh yeah.
I was talking to him the other day, and he was saying, he's like, man, I'm just waiting till we live in bubbles. And I was like, man, we already are in a bubble, man. I stay in my house, you stay in your house. He's like, nah, actual bubbles.
Like Bubble Boy?
Yeah, he goes, like a Bubble Boy. Lo and behold, Hype Beast, Toronto-based protective personal equipment, Visor Technologies, taking COVID face protection to the next level. It's the BioVisor, an anti-fog face shield with an N95, N99 air purifying system at the back, which filters out pathogens, allergens, pollutants. It's great for crowded spaces in the airport. Look at that. I wonder what that sounds like. Do you get an echo in there, or does it sound like someone's talking to a tin can? I wonder what.
I'm pretty sure it's like those noise-canceling headphones.
Look at that.
Pop everything out.
If I had to wear that in order to go to a movie theater, I would. If they lent you one, no, not if you lent one. You'd have to.
That looks like the thing that pops out in Star Wars that tries to eat the Millennium Falcon. when it goes into that little crater,
Oh yeah,
that worm. That's what it looks like.
it does.
Uh, yeah, I don't know.
What
Uh,
about technology like that coming out? Look at this.
yeah, but people are bitching about a mask, and then we're like, okay, this is your other alternative.
You know what we need? We need to get to the point where this is not. I'm not even talking about this. I'm talking about shit like this.
Oh,
We need to get to the point
well,
where we're all wearing.
I'm
We've
just
each
saying for
got.
the whole, like the stormtrooper, like honestly, and then you wouldn't need your phone anymore because we would have the Oculus
I got
systems
my heads-up
inside the
display
glass.
inside my helmet.
Just like
Okay,
Iron Man.
Mando never took off his helmet, and he was
Yeah,
fine, and he got chicks anyways. So, yo, and Mando ain't
it
never
is
took
the
that thing
way.
off. This is the way. I can't wait till that's the new. Till we're all wearing, you know, breathing devices.
Okay, that works for me because there's too many idiots out there that aren't.
You know, like this guy. I want to be like Plo Koon. Okay, look at these guys. Look at these guys. This is us in the future. This is us. Where was he? The guy. This look. He's got his own thing. But this is us. This is the future right here.
Yeah,
Ready?
and
This
we're
is
gonna
what your
be
kids will
fighting
be
the
wearing,
evil
guys.
empire.
The kids will be wearing this. They're all from all over
Oh,
the galaxy, so like most likely, yeah, you're probably growing up with different kind of air. Did this guy
yeah,
have a
and it'd
mask?
be
Was
no
this a
different
mask or
than.
was that just his nose?
I felt like that was a mask. I feel like they all kind of have mask on to go with that Darth Vader.
This guy's got something. They all got masks, bro. Unless they're advanced creatures. Notice how Jedi's never needed masks. They were like, we're good.
Because
I'll take
they
the
were the best.
particulates out with the Force. Anywho, that's our future. Is
Well, all the Jar
wearing
Jars
masks.
are still there. Those Gungans. We all live with Gungans. Misa don't need mask.
I say little Gunganisms all the time. I go follow me.
Oh, shit, they're.
I say that all the time. I say that all the time.
Well, their leader looks a lot like our leader.
Yeah, that. What was his name? Boss Nag, right? Boss Nass.
God, I don't remember.
Pretty sure I'm correct.
Misa now?
I'm the guy you would ask, and I'm pretty sure that's it. Up next, we've got. Okay, we talked about that. We talked about this. We talked about using tear gas. We haven't talked about that. Well, I don't know. We gotta just cut that out. Like, what's the point? I thought you only do that once they start burning stuff. Then tear gas them. Once they start destroying stuff, then I'm like, if you get tear gas, hey, that's, I can't get that mad. If I'm burning something and then you tear gas me, I'll be like, okay, agree to disagree, but I get it. Are you gonna be that like I can't believe they tear gassed me. I was just beating this car up with a baseball bat and then they tear gas? No, you can't be that shocked, right? But if we're just sitting quietly on the street with a sign, you shouldn't be allowed to tear gas me. Like, I have to make you cry before you make me cry. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's twofold as well. And I do agree with what you're saying. I'm like, twofold because, like, A, they shouldn't be shooting us with bullets. And B, they shouldn't be shooting us with rubber bullets. And C, they shouldn't be shooting us with chemical weapons. Because technically, that's a form of chemical weapon.
I mean, the yes and no. Yes, but it's made out of chemicals. But no, it's not under the defining rules of a chemical agent, as
Hey,
in like the
they
Geneva
put
Conventions
weed
and all
under
that.
drugs for the longest
You're
time.
right.
Weed, cocaine was on the same
Weed was
thing.
on Schedule One drug, so
So I'm like, how can we
pepper
not put
spray
tear gas?
is mustard gas. Let's
Yeah,
just
I'm
make it
like,
the same thing.
it does the exact same thing, right? It gets you high, or should I say, it disperses you. So I'm
I
like,
mean,
it doesn't surprise me.
oh
They're
yo,
using.
what if instead? I bet it'd be more effective instead of using tear gas to just throw like weed bombs. Everyone would
Yeah,
stop fighting. Everyone would be like, man, whatever, dude.
where's
They'd be
McDonald's?
like, yeah, they'd be like, man, let's go get some Funyuns.
Let's go get my McMuffin combo.
Yeah, if he just got everybody high, like who gets in a fist fight while smoking weed? Nobody. They'll be like, nah, forget it. Let's sit down and smoke this blunt. Nobody's trying to fight.
Yeah,
What? That might be a good idea.
not me.
Just, I don't know. Yeah, I think we've really got to define the lines of a peaceful protest and what you can and cannot do against a peaceful. We've got to define peaceful protest a little bit more, and then say what you can and cannot do to disperse a peaceful protest. Because it says in the Constitution, it shall not be infringed upon. The right to assemble is inalienable rights, peacefully assembling.
But,
But I
but
should have to
technically,
do
we
that with
all
no
can't
threat.
assemble. Like, where can we all assemble? We'd all have to like
Well, you
assemble
can't
in a
do it on the
park somewhere.
streets.
Exactly. So we have to be in a street. So automatically, by us all assembling in a street, we're blocking traffic. It's automatically not
Okay, well
peaceful because
then,
we're breaking a law.
we'll bring back, uh, you know, free speech areas. Bring back the whole town squares. Bring back the town square where anything
It's
goes.
not
Man,
big
back in the
enough,
day,
and
there
they
used to
won't
be
let you
town
do it.
squares where one guy could be talking about the end of the world, and another guy could be preaching his religion, and another guy
They
could be
do.
advocating
It's
for
called the White House, and they don't let you near it now.
no, but I mean, like that seems wrong.
They
Uh,
tried protesting right in front of the White House. They wouldn't let them get near it. They kept like directing them every which direction to get them away from the White House because they don't want photos of people protesting in front of the White House.
it's a
When I
bad look.
clicked on that link, I saw pictures of black people holding signs that said, "Stop lynching us," in front of the White House.
I mean,
I've
if that
never seen that
bothers
photo
you,
before.
that can only bother you in two ways. One, you're bothered because you're tired of seeing black and brown lives being unjustly uh, snuffed out, or it bothers you because you're like, "Oh, be quiet! It's too loud. You're making a scene." Those are only two ways to be bothered by that. So if
Yeah,
you're
it's like
bothered one way over the other, you got problems. Uh, this is it's totally switching gears here. We talked about. I don't even know if I want to talk about this. What is this? Sophie sent me this article, and it's like the premise is quite ridiculous. Oh well, there's why. It's the Daily Mail. Okay, the Daily Mail is.
uh,
It's
Inquirer
modern
said,
day, yeah, modern day National Enquirer or
Fox
what's the
News.
other one? This person says his son is the reincarnation of Princess Diana. I don't even know how many ways that's wrong, but that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my
Oh,
life.
oh
He
my
revealed
God.
that his son is
Is
the
he English?
reincarnation. Oh yeah, they're in Britain.
Of course.
Oh, it's
I'm
the
like,
son grew up with some morbid fascination with her, and he's like, oh, must be.
hey, I like to think I'm the reincarnation of Madonna, but apparently she's still alive. So,
He says that in a previous life he was once a princess, and that he had a brother named John, and they're like, oh my god, So did Princess Diana. Stupid.
They're also talking about any other Disney princess.
Anyways, fake. Big
Yeah.
fake. I don't know. Do you believe in reincarnation, Marcus? There are different versions of reincarnation. Some people think you come back as a person. Other people think that depending on how you spent your life, you come back as a different, creature along a scale. Like if you were a terrible person, you come back as a cockroach. But if you were dope, you come back as like an eagle or a tiger. I don't know if that's real, but it sounds awesome.
I believe we all have souls in some sort. And because I believe in ghosts, and I've seen ghosts to an extent, like literally seen them on film. And I'm like, I believe in some sense, like we do have a soul. I don't know if there's like an upper or downer or anything like that. I do feel we do roam at times and we do take over other spirits. I don't, I believe like the human soul is too strong to be taken over by another human. I believe if we come back, you'll have to come back as like a cat, a dog, some other weird thing, but I don't believe you can come back as another person per se, unless you're some very special.
So you're saying all human life is original?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But all other creatures could potentially be reincarnated humans?
Yeah, that's why there's so many creatures in this world.
That sounds kind of interesting.
And I believe at times that if there's no creatures around, that's what you have just been put in, where you have ghost spirits or entities that are still populating these areas where they're like, oh, go visit this haunted house. I'm like, I know there are ghosts in there because they fucked up somehow that they couldn't get into another being. All they can do is sit there, and they're not trying to scare you. They're crying and looking for compassion and somebody to talk to, and then everybody runs. I'm like, that's their punishment.
Nah, man, we've always talked about how I wanted to spend the night alone in a haunted house.
Yeah.
I have no qualms with it. I'm a Catholic, okay? I've accepted the Lord Jesus Christ as my personal savior. I am confirmed, okay?
Are we doing Catholics next week?
I was thinking we should definitely do a Ghost Stories Day where we get everybody on here and we're talking about our actual real life, what I experienced ghost stories. Look forward to that Halloween episode. I think that'll be a good idea. Let's do it live from New Orleans. No. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. Catholic, we all believe we go to purgatory and wait until we go to heaven or something like that. But maybe purgatory's earth.
But didn't also the Catholic Bible also say some shit about black people that they decided to get rid of? And then didn't also say some shit about gays that they decided to get rid of?
That's the Old Testament.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think they said get rid of. It just says that the shall not lay with a man or something like that.
And it's funny because
then Jesus came in the New Testament and he changed all of that. Okay, so we're kind of a New Testament. Jesus loves everybody, and even the prostitutes and the murderers. Jesus love, universal Jesus love.
Will your pastor agree with that statement? Would your
pastor? First of all, we don't have pastors. We have.
It would be a father, priests. Whatever.
Honestly, I don't care. I don't go to church. I know what I know.
That's what I mean. Where it's like if the person above you, the mystical, the all.
I mean, the Pope himself said that hell doesn't exist recently, which goes against literally everything we've been talking about for decades. So I don't know. Plus, humans are fallible.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's like, why are you going to believe the word of a human that possibly wrote 200 years ago? Were they smarter than us?
I think they had more respect for the truth than us, but I don't believe they had as much truth as we have. You know what I mean? They were working with a smaller deck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they were like, these are nothing but clubs and clovers, and we know this. But we've added hearts and diamonds, and we're still like, there's only clubs and clovers. we're just being ignorant despite having more information. I don't think they
Yep.
were ignorant on purpose like we are now. They were ignorant back then because they didn't have the technology or the verifiable evidence or the access to information that we have now. So I wouldn't say they were dumber, so they had less to work with. How about talking about this? Moving on, Hamilton. They filmed a Broadway production, so it's not a movie, right? It's not all a movie. It's still a stage production, but they filmed it, and it's going to stream on July 3rd, right for Independence Day. Hamilton. Sophie's question: do you think that Disney is setting themselves up for disappointment when Hamilton fans all over the world watch with such high expectations? Because for a person like me, I think for your average person, we've never seen it, right? You'd have to have been in one of the very few traveling versions of it that I think LA obviously has had, maybe Seattle, maybe a couple other places, but I don't think
And
there's
France.
San Francisco. I think they were going to do one in Fresno, but then it maybe got delayed from all this COVID. So I've never seen it, obviously. I don't like listening to I'm the complete opposite of every other actor, musical theater fan, where I don't like to listen to the we'll call it
You
the
track
soundtrack before I watch the play. Like I have to see it in the production. Then I have a meaning and purpose for the song, and then I like to listen to the song after the fact. I don't really get much out of just listening to the soundtrack because I'm missing the dialogue in between the scenes. It gives I don't know. That's me. A lot of people haven't seen it, but from the people who have seen it, it's huge. It's huge. I don't know how this has entered the political zeitgeist so strongly, despite so many people having never seen it, but it's a thing, and people are in love with it. I apparently it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So when it comes out, I'm gonna be like, this better knock my socks off. So I think the expectations are really high. Marcus, have you ever seen it?
I've never seen it in person. I
Mm-hmm.
can't say I've listened to the album probably over 100 times.
Oh
Yes.
wow. Okay, so you're consuming the soundtrack. Um,
Yeah.
are
That's all I
you
have.
so are you like super excited for it? Do you foresee people being disappointed by it, or is it going to be everything that we imagined and more?
I'm gonna say no because I will say that all the people that are gonna watch Hamilton all saw Cats,
And
and
nothing's gonna be worse than Cats.
yeah, I'm like the
The
bar is
bar is so low
literally
that you're gonna clear it so hard.
even
Yeah.
here. Guess what? That's phenomenal, phenomenal.
Uh,
So to that point, I'll say no. You can't be disappointed because the story is great, the
and
music's
there's nothing
great,
like
but
it, right?
yeah, it's just the production value I feel will fall short. But people that truly
Yeah, people are
appreciate,
gonna watch it thinking, expecting movie style sets and costumes and lighting, and then going, "Oh, this is weird. I'm watching a play."
that's
Yeah,
when you get Cats.
but that was framed and set up much more like a movie. It
Yes,
was filmed
but
like a
that's what I
movie.
mean. It could have took somebody just going, "Hey, I'm here's $50 million, make Hamilton."
It's funny because I feel like they could be opposite. I feel like Cats would have been like, "No, this makes more sense filming the play because we're gonna forgive why there are humans dressed like cats much more." Meanwhile, Hamilton is like, they're regular people wearing regular clothes. You could have easily made this a movie.
Exactly.
Isn't that funny?
Oh my
Like Les
God.
Miserables. I never saw the movie, but that made sense to film it like a movie, right? Even though that's nothing but singing. Is there? Is there any dialogue in Les Miserables?
I believe there's like 2 or 3 sentences
Everything
that
else is
lead
singing.
into a song. Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Yeah, probably.
Well,
Right?
that was even better than Gerard Butler.
Bang. I never saw Phantom of the Opera movie either.
That was back
I
and
didn't
forth for
see.
me.
I didn't see Greatest Showman.
It's
Have
all
you seen
right.
Greatest Showman?
I listened to 3 of their tracks and I turned it off.
Ouch. People love that too. I didn't know people loved it so much. Um,
Yeah, same
our
thing with
next question is, what hopes and expectations do I have? I think my expectations are pretty high because, again, people around me have been in my echo chamber have been gushing about it for years. They were singing it backstage when I was in spelling bee, and that was like 2 years ago. I did spelling bee, and
yeah.
they were while
No,
getting dressed and doing our makeup, they were singing Hamilton.
that was 4 years ago, sir.
4 years ago? Oh my god! I feel
Yeah,
like I
because
just did that.
remember they came when Hamilton was at its height. That's when they came out and spoke when the vice president was watching their
Oh, you're
show.
right. That had happened like in the midst of our production of Spelling Bee. You're right.
Yep,
Uh,
that's when it
uh,
became so popular.
uh, yeah. I feel like, gosh, yeah. So they've been singing that for months. I've been hearing people gush about that, so I can't wait. Here's a question that people have been asking around on Twitter that I asked myself the other day, and some people I knew. I don't remember us asking you this. When was the last or the first time you had a black teacher?
Uh, well, technically, I knew of black teachers. Like at Fresno State, we did
Right,
have.
that doesn't count.
Yeah,
You gotta be in their class.
no, then no. I would
Never.
say I've never had a black
First grade,
teacher.
second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade,
My brother
seventh
had a black
grade.
teacher in 6th grade because that's when we first got split up. I had Miss Santana, a white blonde woman, and Martine had Miss Gardner, a black woman.
There you go.
And I believe that was and that's how vivid it is. Like, oh,
That's how
I
much
can
is stuck
remember.
out in your mind. You can pick it up. Oh, bam. Yeah. Eighth grade, ninth grade, 10th grade,
I can think of all the teachers at Sunnyside.
junior
I don't
year.
remember one of them being oh, Mr. Branch. Yeah, Mr. Branch. He was my English teacher in high school. I want to say sophomore, junior year. He was very passionate. He was a great teacher, excellent teacher,
That's
and
awesome.
I'll give him props for Mr. Branch.
Shout
I
out,
always
Mr.
remember him.
Branch.
Yeah, except for he'd always tell us how fake wrestling was. That's why I didn't like him. I was like, damn it, stop telling me The Rock isn't really hitting people.
That's hilarious. I don't think I ever have. I don't think I ever
Yeah,
have.
I've always known of.
There was the
I've
directing
known
class at
of
Fresno
them.
State was taught by Thomas Witt Ellis, and I stopped going to school right before I would have took his class. That would have been the first time.
Wow.
You do
Fresno
that?
City, I only
That's
know white
ridiculous.
people except for Deborah.
White people,
Asian.
Mexicans, Armenians. White people, Mexicans, Armenians. The occasional Asian teacher. I had an econ teacher
Yeah.
who was Mr. was Fang. Fang, I
Oh,
think it was.
I had an Asian. Yeah.
Economics at City
I had
College.
Mr. Vang. Mr. Vang, what's up?
That's it.
Kings Canyon Middle
Senora
School, Mr.
Ochoa
Vang.
for Spanish 2 in high school.
Oh.
Everybody else was white.
Yeah.
Crazy and sad. We should change that. There should be. I mean, if the NFL can be like, hey, you gotta interview at least 5 coaches that are
They
black
do
or
that
whatever.
already.
Okay, then we should do that with freaking elementary school teachers. Okay, if the
Yeah.
freaking NFL can do it, what the hell? What is your opinion? What?
Well, actually, the NFL does it, but they only have 2 black coaches. 3, my bad.
Yikes. Okay, final extra question from Sophie. what is your opinion on young girls who are being taught that if a boy bullies you, they like you?
Uh, I believe I believe that that teacher was probably thinking from what they were taught, and that's a lot of the time. We're putting off what we were taught onto the younger generations. Um, I will say that is true, but what we're basically instilling in everybody's mind is it's okay for boys to be bad because they mean something else. And you shouldn't be bad. You should just accept it because they mean something else. But I'm like, it's no different than, a girl being mean. Oh, she's only doing that because she likes you. I'm like, nobody would do that. They'd go talk to the little girl, like, hey, little Sophia, you can't put your hands on little Bobby over there. But if Bobby hits her, it's like, oh, Bobby likes you, little Sophia. And by doing that, we're perpetuating this myth that it's okay for men to hit women, which is one of my biggest uh uh
On
one of the
on the
biggest.
scale of grievances, that's pretty freaking high.
Yes,
That's pretty
because I'm like,
freaking high.
honestly, it should be nobody should be allowed to hit anybody, no matter what. Even when they're like,
Right.
oh, a girl can hit a
Violence is not the
guy.
answer, kids.
A guy
Violence is not the answer.
That's the biggest thing you can walk away with. Like, if you can't beat them here, then you've already lost here, and it doesn't matter what you do here, because this will lead to you getting either reprimanded or you go to jail or something, and then you're stuck in jail with this, and this is
Mhm.
gonna beat you up every single day of your life, no
It's gonna be your
matter
worst
what.
enemy right here.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you, it's an interesting point you brought up that essentially that's true. You're saying it's that there's truth to it,
Yeah.
and there is, because we know it goes both ways. That teasing in itself, uh, you don't tease someone you don't care about.
hmm
You don't concern yourself with how to get under the skin of someone that means nothing to you. They have to mean something to you in order for you to know or care or put any effort into bothering. You know, you don't go
that's
out of
why
your way to
racist
bother
people
someone
hate
that
black
like
people.
you never see. What did you say?
I said that's why racist people hate black people.
Exactly, because it like it matters so much to them. They're concerned with it. They're like, so there's something there, whether they're jealous, but jealousy is probably a
It's
huge part of
it
racism that we
is.
don't really talk
It
about.
really is. They're
It's jealousy.
afraid of them.
It's not jealousy in the terms of I wish I had what they have, but jealousy is in kind of like anything that they have that should have been mine, or how come they get to do that and I can't, right? Or so they got their own music and style. How come people don't like their music and style as much, or how come people don't like my music and style as much as they like their music and style? Their music and style isn't as good, or it shouldn't be sought as better, but well, I can say these words, and why they get to say these words, but I don't get to. I think that's a huge. I think jealousy is a huge part of it,
Yeah.
of that, because you have to care at some point. Why do they care? What do they care about exactly? Why is it bothering them? That's why homophobes are secretly gay, because you're like, this
Yeah.
guy gets to kiss on guys, but I don't. What the hell? How come this guy gets to feel the
And
love and care of another man and I don't?
and
So
I
you
love
know,
when they're like, "Get away from me." I'm like, "Why? Are you afraid they're gonna make out with you?
I
You'll
don't
love it."
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it and then have these thoughts that like maybe that could be dope, and then now I'm thinking I'm gay, and now I'm like, why did you? It's your fault. You made me think that sounds awesome. If I never saw it, I wouldn't want it. Now that I saw it, I want it, and this is your fault. So I think that's part of it too. So yes, if boys are bothering you, most likely you matter to them at some point. Now, is that
And
right?
at that point,
Absolutely not. We need to teach our boys to freaking figure it out, use your words, use your emotions, and be more comfortable with feelings. I think boys, that we can't say like I like you, or this makes me feel sad, or I'm confused about something, or I'm nervous. Boys don't talk like that. It's like, this is stupid, or that's it.
that's
It's
gay.
either
Get
stupid
that.
or manly, or
Yep.
screw that, or forget that, or that's lame, or that's for
Because they don't
girls.
understand.
And I, as much I love being a girl dad, I love being able to instill into Sophie what I know about the evil other sex called men. um, but at the same time, I'm like, I would have reveled in the opportunity to raise a boy as well, because I'll tell you what, she's not going to grow up with this toxic masculinity that even I, who was raised by very progressive parents and, was told to talk about my emotions and whatnot, even still, society has ingrained upon me some level of that. Like, you can't escape it completely. Your friends will
Yeah.
feel a certain way, and peer groups are huge. I think even more of an influence on a boy's psyche than peer influence is on a girl's, I would think. Because a girl, I don't know. I could be totally wrong. I feel like girls have an easier time making friends, because any guy is going to be friends with a girl because we're desperate and lonely. And other girls are just more understanding per capita. Meanwhile,
And we're
guys,
not.
you better keep the guy friends you have, because if you break bridges with your guy friends, every other guy will be like, you're no longer friends with Billy? What's wrong with you? Must be you. I'm not going to be friends with the kid who has no friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, like, you don't want to alienate your friend group, because the minute you eliminate your friend group as a boy, you've got no friends and you're out.
And it goes
I feel like
back to
that's a thing.
that boys and girls can't be friends either. I'm like, when we
That's
think about it,
stupid.
it's always like a group of girls together and a group of boys together. I'm like, of course we grow up so differently because this group is, doing all the morals and values that their mothers taught them over here. And this group is doing all the morals and values their fathers taught them over here, instead of blending them together where they can learn to live with each other and,
See,
get
my best
values
friends
from
in
this
elementary
person, get
school
morals from this.
were almost all girls. Although I had the guys, but I had it
Wow.
even. I had an even mix of guys and girls that were in my friend group. For every guy, there was a
Yep.
girl who was just as good as a friend uh, for me. But even I feel like I struggled with some of that nonsense, you know? So when Sophie
But
has,
I
like,
feel like we've acknowledged that.
yeah, at least
We like
awareness is the
remember
first
with
step.
Blimprov.
Uh, what do you mean?
For instance, when Blimprov was looking to add other members for our team, we thought it it would behoove us to bring on different people.
Absolutely.
We had all males, and we were like, we need
Yeah,
females. No voice of a
yeah.
female presence on
And
this
we added a
team.
lot of females. We added 3 or 4 of 6 different ones over the years. But at one point, we had like 4 female. It was like an even split. We had like 4 and 4 for a good amount of
Yeah,
time.
honestly,
Um,
honestly going back on it, I'm like, I think we still didn't do enough. Like,
no,
could have done way more. I wish we could have.
I wish we
I
could have
really
too.
wish we had a community that would have like thrived or flourished with us, but unfortunately, we didn't get that privilege. We
Well,
didn't get that.
improv gets a bad rap. People
I do rat rap.
people thinking it's stand up, and then it's not stand up, and then they're out, or they come thinking it's theater and it's not theater, so they're out. It's just weird. It's the bastard art form with no home.
And I'm
We're
like, it's the most
shunned by the
unique one.
comedians and shunned by the actors, or somewhere in between. That's it.
I'm like, and we're the best of all your worlds because
Yep.
all you guys do is memorize, memorize,
Oh, you've been
memorize.
saying the same
Same
20-minute
joke.
set for 2 years.
Oh, we're
Not
remaking
saying
this
any
80s
names.
movie that they've done 6 times already that's always flopped.
Cool. It's playing the
I'm
same
like,
archetype characters.
I'm like, improv is literally like the stand-up, what is it, like Daily Show, like all those things are created like daily. Like that's the creativity that improv brings. You have to be creative. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And if you
Yep.
stop, you're a stick in the mud. You're no better than that. You know, other stand-up comedian that only performs in Vegas. So we saying the same dirty jokes that the old folks love.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I would love to do stand up, and yes, yes. If you're doing a play, yeah, you're doing the same script. The script doesn't change, and you could have several weeks worth. So yes, I guess if you're stand up, you're gonna end up doing the same jokes over and over. But something about it, something when it becomes comedy, for me, I all of a sudden feel weird doing the same thing again. You know, like if
Yeah,
it's a scripted play, I'm like, oh yeah, cool, that's the play. But
yeah.
the minute it's like, all right, come to the Nick Haas show, I was like, there's no way I can tell the jokes from yesterday. Excuse me, I already did those jokes. You know, something about the minute it turns into live comedy where I'm like, it's got to be new. It's got to be new. It's got to go off the
Why?
dome right
Because
now
we're all
because I
living
just
in
grew
that
that way.
moment.
I grew that way. That's comedy for me is immediate and reactionary
Mm-hmm.
and constantly evolving
Yep.
for me personally.
It
But I
invokes
can see how other people are
emotion.
different, and that's totally fine. And people can feel however they want to feel. All right, wrapping the show up, our last two segments, the only repeating segments are the news and what shows we're watching. Marcos, what shows are you watching? Shows
I
or really shows because those it's kind of like ongoing. Not what movie you watched recently, but what shows are you watching?
uh my girl is only playing a show. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Survivor.
Wait, the one that's been around for like 20 years, Survivor.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Never wanted to see it. Never had any reason to watch it. Apparently, my partner is doing a Survivor Zoom thing. I guess some friend recommended she do it, but basically she's on every day. She does challenges, and I was like, "Don't you have to go outside to play this game?" She's like, "No, we play inside." But so I've been watching it, and I've been seeing some. I didn't realize like I'm like that's terrible. You gotta
Wait,
like
you're watching the show
make
or
your own
she's
place.
doing a live version? I don't get it.
She's doing the show, but she has. We've been watching Survivor on Hulu, all the series. I think we were on season 17. I came home the other day and she's on season 20.
Jesus.
But yeah, that's about it. And the next one that we still watch a lot is Modern Family. And you know, it's funny because I'm watching it back again, and one of the most recent episodes, they do like interviews with all like the creators, directors, stuff like that. They talk about Modern Family over the years, and they say, "Yeah, we didn't. Oh, you know, we watched some of the early episodes. We didn't realize how raunchy they were, but when I watch it back, I'm like, literally, there's not a black person introduced in the cast until like Longinus is introduced, which is a friend, one of the main characters, and he only appears sporadically throughout the series. But then I slowly started counting. I was like, how many ethnic people do they have? Oh, they have the Asian daughter, but she was adopted. Oh, they bring an Asian woman on to be the Asian daughter's pedia doctor, and
Pediatrician.
all they can do is racist Asian stereotype joke, pediatrician. All they can do is racist Asian jokes. Even when they have the Mexicans on there, they throw little Mexican jokes in there. At one point, Phil joins a team, and it's the white team, and he's wearing a shirt that says, "If you ain't white, you ain't right." And he's like trying to pay the black taxi driver, and
Well,
the taxi driver flinging his luggage into the lawn, and he gets the money. And I'm like, funny because we see what's wrong with it. But I'm like, at the same time, I'm like,
I,
this show hasn't had a black person on until they have this black cab driver that has to look at Phil's shirt. So I'm
yeah,
on
so
the
I yes, the comedy comes from the comedy is of uh, an unfortunate thing, right? Whatever race relations, what have you. But it's done from a wholesome perspective because they're punching up, not down. They're making fun of the white people for being racist or racially insensitive. But then at the same time, though their intentions are pure, they're also at the same time not casting any black people.
Yeah.
So,
Literally.
have you ever heard of uh, the Bechtel test? Have you ever heard of the Bechtel test?
No.
Uh, the Bechtel test is right here from Wikipedia. It's known as the Bechdel test. Is a measure of representation of women in fiction, right? It asks whether a work features at least two women. If your book or movie or whatever show features a scene with at least two women who talk to each other about something other than a man, you've passed the Bechdel test. You'll be surprised how many of your favorite movies and TV shows do not pass this test.
Yeah, I believe it.
Friends rarely will an episode of Friends pass this test. If there's a woman in the scene, most likely she's talking to a man. If there's two women in the scene, most likely they're talking about a man. Find me an episode of Friends where they pass this test.
Yeah.
This will be
And
hard.
honestly, I'm getting to the point where it's like I want my media that I'm taking in, I want it to be actual representation of our
Exactly. So
society.
I'm
Like,
saying bring this test, bring another version of the test, right? Do you have two people who are not white talking to each other?
yeah, no, it doesn't happen.
How the sad part is, as low as that bar is, give me two people who aren't white talking about each other.
Nope.
As sad as that is, that's a hard test to pass.
I can't, not unless it's like a non-mainstream like
You'd have to go watch
show.
Black Panther.
Yeah, exactly. Like my girl and
Right?
we talked about going away from Modern Family and we wanted to watch Blackish because we're like,
Yeah.
yo,
Oh,
I
by the way, Sophie's favorite TV show.
yeah, and I'm like, they even did a spin. I was like, I think you need to watch this show, and I heard it was very similar to Modern Family, but it's funny, like,
Blackish?
yeah, and it's funny, it's like they're both
Yeah,
on ABC as well,
I would
and it's
say it is similar.
pandered to two different societies, white and black people. Like, why
Yeah.
can't we have a show that panders to both of
You
us?
know what show that was that panders to both? Blimprov, baby. We had it all. We had it all. We had
It
women,
fucked up.
men. We had people, persons of color. We had Asians, Mexicans. We had whites, men, women. One of us was gay, probably.
And I'll never tell.
Now, never tell,
We had,
because it's up to them. Yeah, I would like. We should. Speaking of which, sorry, that brings me to the next big story. This came out. We're talking about the Academy. We're speaking of Hollywood. The Academy Awards has come out. Well, not only were they um, uh, 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 um, not only were they the pushed back. I'm trying to find the article where they're talking about, but they're doing this now. Not only are they pushing back to make up for time for movies that weren't able to come out on time because of the quarantine, but they are also installing new diversity requirements. Great, and I can't read this article because it's a paywall. Oh no. the Oscars will add diversity requirements for eligibility. They've added Ava DuVernay to its board of governors after her film Selma was,
Snubbed.
slept on, if you will. This is going to be a handful of efforts to improve inclusion, both within its organization and for the Oscar films. They're bumping it up because sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 7 nominees. We never know how many nominees. There's going to be 10. There's always going to be 10. It's always going to be 10. So that's nice to know what you're going to get. But there's also eligibility requirements where they're talking about, is a certain number of your crew, non-white or men and women. A certain number of your cast is full of. This is, they've got all these statistics. Essentially, they're going to expand the requirements for if you're going to be up for one of these major awards, your film should have passed these. And a lot of them are like very reasonable, low bars, but at least it's something. It's like, did you have at least like 10% women on your production? It's like, oh yeah, all you have to do is hire a handful of women, and you've done the bare minimum, and I think that's awesome. How do you feel about this? I can't seem to find specifics, but I also don't know if the specifics are out yet. I think they're still in talks, but they've talked about that they're going to have it.
I love it. I think the Academy needs to take more responsibility as well, instead of just saying like, "Hey, this is what we're going to do moving forward." I think they need to acknowledge more the past as well, and I believe they need to have people give back some of their awards. For instance, the number one person I could think of, Robert Downey Jr. being blackface in Tropic Thunder. The second person I could think of, Emma Watson playing an Asian person in that, or I don't think she won. I think she was nominated for it. It's the one where she was, I think it's Bradley Cooper and her, and they're in Hawaii, and they're both supposed to be Asian people or something like that.
What? I did not see this. What is that?
Yeah,
Emma Watson.
It's called Emma Watson and I want to say Bradley Cooper. I'm pretty sure Emma Watson. Yeah, she won an Academy, right?
I don't know.
That's not Hermione. Emma Stone.
Emma Stone
played the Asian person in that movie. But that's what I mean. Going back and saying like, even if they don't want to take it back and say like, hey, we shouldn't have given this person the award for this role. We didn't realize what it was actually portraying, especially Robert Downey Jr. being blackface. If I were to do a blackface movie now, like, would that be perceived the same way? Could I be nominated for that same award? Like, honestly,
I think it still kind of goes back to like, in what way? What was the context? Like, his character was an idiot who didn't get why it was wrong, and there were other characters in the movie who pointed out to him that it was wrong. You know what I mean? And we knew he was white. It's not like he was actually playing a black character and they just cast a white guy to play the black character. And then as the production themselves took it upon themselves to then, put him in blackface, that's not what happened. What happened was he's playing a character who's dumb enough to do blackface. Does that make sense? You got 2 cameras now?
Yo.
Yeah, you got 2 cameras now? You do 2 angles?
Sorry, my computer died right now.
Oh no. Yeah, I'll stop the video from that other one. So I think that's the difference, right? The context. He's a white, we know he's a white character, and he's aware, and the other characters are aware that he's doing something he shouldn't be doing. It's different than if the character itself was black, and they just like, just cast this white guy and we'll do it with makeup. That, you know, see what I'm saying? There's a difference. Yes, was it still like super racy and should caught flack for it? Yeah, but it was also, we knew he was an idiot. Other characters called him an idiot in the midst of the movie. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying?
Yeah.
But could you get away with it now? No, probably not. Probably just in the script reading phase, they'd probably go, "Yeah, we can't. There's no way we can do this."
And that's what I mean. I'm like, if it wasn't okay then, it can't be okay now.
But that's what I'm saying. I think it was okay then.
I mean, if it's
context
not okay
matters.
Now,
I don't know. I think context matters. I mean, if the movie was written by a black guy and this was the movie he wanted to make, and it takes place with a character doing blackface, well, then in that context, I think we're gonna let him, because it was his idea, and there was a purpose for it. You see what I'm saying? Like if a black guy wrote the script and was like, yes, and then this character does blackface and has to deal with these repercussions, would you let that movie be made? Yes, because this is his vision, and he's going to show us how and why. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Context.
I still don't think he should have won. But
did he won? What did he win? He won something?
Yeah, he won Best Supporting.
At the MTV Movie Awards.
No, he won an Oscar.
No, he did not. No, he did not.
He won an Oscar for Tropic Thunder.
He was nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Oh, what? Yeah, I've been blasting him this whole time. He didn't even win.
No, I don't think he won. Best Supporting Actor 2000. What was this? 2008.
Yeah, I want to say it was after high school, college, maybe. Yeah, and I love Robert Downey.
Javier Bardem won for No Country for Old Men.
Oh, there you go. Hey, at least we got one in the book.
What I'm watching, I'm not watching anything. I haven't been watching anything. I have no time. I've been watching nothing. So suggest to me something to watch. You know what I did watch? I wrapped up recently though. Umbrella Academy. The Umbrella Academy on Netflix is really good. There is one actor who plays a kid, and I think he is a kid because he looks like a kid. He's so good. He's super young, but he's easily the best part of the show. Easily the best part of the show is this super young kid who plays older than he is, like he's in a younger body. He's a phenomenal actor. He's really, really fun to watch in that show. He's got like teleportation abilities. They're like superheroes, but they grew up as a family. It's like Fantastic Four, but horrible. All the wrong things happen. Super cool show. Check out Umbrella Academy.
I have to check that out.
It's on Netflix. Last but not least, the best viral or best internet. The best internet you saw this week. I shared a little bit of it, which was the McMuffin girl. Do you know the McMuffin girl? But for me, see if I can find it here. And this in Fresno. This happened in Fresno. This is the Black Lives Matter rally. Peaceful.
Beautiful.
People dancing. DJ K, shout out to DJ K Rich, my successor as the on-field MC for the Fresno Grizzlies.
Nice.
DJ K Rich helped put this together. There's this video on YouTube. This girl is geeking out. I love it. They painted um, the floor, the floor. They painted the street in Fresno. This is in front of Fresno City Hall right here. This is the street in front of Fresno City Hall. They painted it
Beautiful.
Black Lives Matter right there perfectly. Great graphic designing.
Yeah.
Really awesome. Really awesome to see in Fresno.
Especially in Fresno.
A
Oh my
lot of
gosh.
organizations are in on this. The Fresno State chapter of NAACP, some local churches, organizations, just really awesome. So that was the best thing I saw this week. I was unable to go. I think this happened like on a Wednesday at 11 or something. So I was like
Yeah,
in
I
the
remember
middle
when
of
I
a
saw it.
work day. I could not get out of it, but I just thought it was awesome. I wanted to attend. I think I heard about it too late, or yeah, I don't know what happened, but it was so awesome to see. So that's the best thing I saw. What did you see on the internet? Anything catch
Sheesh,
your eye?
man. Honestly, it was pretty close to that. Just for the sake of difference, I will say the best thing I saw was that Trump had that thing decline, the DACA, where he tried
Oh,
revoking it. And
that's
oh my
right.
God,
DACA
that
was
was
upheld.
that was everywhere. I was dying. I can't believe it. And nothing but like donkeys and everywhere on that dude's face. I love it when people are trying to take away the rights of the world, essentially. You know, we're so privileged to be in this country, and we were given all those privileges from this country, but we don't want others to come to this country and relish in those privileges as well. Just as they won't allow the people that currently live in this country to relish in those privileges.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's just a weird concept, like what are borders really? What's the
They're
point?
man-made.
Like,
Borders
I don't
are
know.
made up.
What's the
They're
point?
like the
What is the
tooth fairy.
point of this? It's just gatekeeping, you know what I mean? Like, what's the
Exactly.
point?
And the
It's
one thing
moving
I
the
learned.
goalposts every time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, why? We're just trying to live a better life. Wouldn't you just be like, yeah, let me sign you up, dog? If someone comes to your door, knock, knock, knock. I'm hungry and I'm naked. Here's some clothes. Here's some food. Why do we gotta ask about how'd you get here? Did you get here the right way? Did you take the bus? Who dropped you off? I don't know them. Oh my God. How about I'm naked and I'm hungry and you fed me? Whatever happened to that? What's the
Yeah,
point? I don't know what's the whole legality. Screw it. You're here. Can we just move on?
yeah, because I think a lot of people are realizing, we're gonna bring these people. I'm like, yeah, that's great, but they're thinking to the future with their children. Like, oh, if I let these people in, oh, their children are gonna get a better education, and they're probably way smarter than the guy I'm paying to go to private school and paying off their teachers to give them passing grades. I'm pretty sure they're gonna beat out my kid for a job on whatever position I
So
need
be
to try
it.
and get.
May the best man or woman win.
Yeah,
Don't you want, hey, in poker, you want as many people to enter the tournament as possible because then the
exactly.
pot gets higher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And if you finna win, you should want as many people doing the double rebuys as
Yep.
you possible. If you're thinking you're winning, you only win more. So
The only problem people have with
I don't
that
get
is
it.
they're like, I am the house.
Oh well, then you shouldn't have a say if you're the house.
Exactly. I'm like, then you're gonna collect either way, right?
Yeah,
Let us try
yeah.
and win.
You're taking the 10% from the pot anyways for fees and keep the lights on. So make it a fair competition.
That's
I
all
don't
we
get that.
ask, right?
There's always a job they can do. There's a job out there that
Hell yeah,
your
man.
boy won't do because of all that. Anywho, that's a great show. Thank you, Marcos. Everybody, drink more water. Drink more water.
Absolutely. Cover your
Take care.
face.
Cover your face. Put it over your nose. the mask goes over your goddamn nose. Drink more water and stay safe, everybody. Bye, Marcos.
Later, bud.
Peace.